everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the AK Show. It's your boy AK the Ref, episode number 20. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. I really do appreciate it. But before we get started, hit that subscribe button. Yes, indeed. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, the AK Show, the podcast. You know how we do on here. What is up? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a fabulous week so far. When you are watching this, it will be Wednesday. You know what that means. Happy hump day. You're halfway to the weekend. So give yourself a big round of applause. We're almost there. And it's the day before the 4th of July. Yes, 4th of July on Thursday, right? Thursday, because today's the 2nd. Yes, today, right now I'm recording this the 2nd. This will be released on the 3rd, and then we have the 4th of July. But I hope everybody's having a great week so far. I hope you had a fabulous weekend last weekend, Hope you did some stuff, got some things done. Now, I know I didn't have an episode drop last Wednesday. I did record it on Saturday, and then I was planning to get it edited and uploaded that day, but we went to the soccer game, supporting KC. We went to Legends, went to Nebraska Furniture Mart, and they were like, "You want to go to the soccer game?" So we bought tickets and went to the soccer game. So I didn't get that episode uploaded until Sunday evening, but it is up on the channel. Episode 19 is up, and we're going to be back here dropping episode 20 on Wednesday, July 3rd. You know how we do. But yeah, last weekend, went to the soccer game on Saturday. And then it was our 1 year, it's me and my wife's 1 year anniversary, was this past Sunday. Happy 1 year anniversary of being married. Now, if you know me, me and my wife have been together since like 2006, but we just got married last June 30th of last year. We made it official. The other times we were just common law marriage. So technically we were still married, but it wasn't like official. But last year we went to Clearwater, went to Florida, went to Clearwater Beach, got married on the beach. It was a great time. Oh my God, it was amazing. Went on the beach. It was just our kid. It was very small. Our kids, my mom, and her parents. That was it. Went to Florida for like a week. We got married on the beach in Clearwater. Went on this yacht. Oh my God, it was so great. We went on the yacht. What else did we do? I mean, we went to Disney. We went to Universal. In that same time, went to the beach on the 4th of July. Let me tell you about the beach on the 4th of July. It's amazing. It is amazing. Because we were there for the 4th last year, and we were like, what are we going to do? So we were like, let's just go to the beach and then watch a fireworks show, because different areas and different locations of the beach on the Gulf, had fireworks display. So we were like, we'll just go somewhere. I don't know. We found this one area. It was kind of in between Clearwater and St. Petersburg. It was called Madeira Beach. Fabulous. We went on that beach on the 4th, and then it started getting a little bit darker, and people were shooting fireworks on the beach. I was like, wait a minute, you can shoot fireworks on the beach? I was like, let's go. Because we didn't buy no fireworks. When we saw fireworks stands, we were like, no, we're just going to go watch one of the displays from our location right on the beach. But then we saw people shooting fireworks, and I was like, wait a minute, you can shoot fireworks on the beach? I was like, let's go. So when it got dark, like, you just see people just shooting fireworks from all different directions. I'm like, I like this. This is dope. And then when it gets dark, you can see all the other fireworks displays from like different areas. I think you saw one in St. Petersburg down the way, Treasure Island, and then you saw one in Clearwater, and then you just have people shooting fireworks around you, and just up there, just get our own personal fireworks show, up close and personal. Even though my mom was like, I do not like this. What if one of these fireworks hits us? I'd be like, it'll be okay. It's fine. This is great. Like, being on the beach during the 4th of July is lit. I don't know if it's like that at all the beaches, but that area was like St. Petersburg to Clearwater. It was lit. I'm telling you, bro, that was dope. Oh, I can't wait to go back. We're going to back. We're going again next year around the same time, so we'll be able to celebrate our no, our second year anniversary. 2 years of being married, but yeah, this past Sunday was celebrated 1 year of being officially married. You know, and doing the whole thing and the changing of the last name. Yeah, so yeah, but we didn't do anything special on Sunday because we went to the game on Saturday, and then Sunday we just chilled. Yeah, we just chilled. We didn't. I cooked French toast. I did make French toast. Bro, I make some bomb ass French toast. I love it. I love some breakfast. I love some French toast. Yeah, I cooked some French toast. We didn't do nothing special. Been together since '06, like 18 years. Come on now. But next year we're going back for sure. And around the same time, celebrate our second anniversary and have her parents renew their vows. So we're gonna go again next year, make it a big family trip where everybody's going. So it's gonna be dope. I can't wait. Go back on the beach on the 4th. Like after doing that on the 4th of July, and now being here for the 4th, it ain't gonna be the same. It's not the same because in the area I live in, you can shoot some fireworks, but you can't shoot everything. So mostly now we're at a point where we just like to go watch displays. But my kids, they're teenagers now, but they still like to shoot off some fireworks. But I don't even know what we're doing. I really, after being on the beach during the 4th of July, nothing compares to that, in my opinion, no more. I mean, yeah, watching fireworks display is still cool, but being on the beach, it was just on the beach. It's sand, the water. You staying there until dark. Got all these fireworks going off. It ain't the same. And it didn't feel like a war zone either. It feels like it was dope. It was dope. And I've been to some areas in KC, with my family on my dad's side, and you go over there, it feels like a fucking war zone. On the beach, it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like it didn't feel like a war. You know how sometimes one time we went to Garden where my wife's from, it felt like a war zone down there. I was like, God damn. I remember there was this one firework. We were down there for the 4th. There's this one firework where their light, it was like this little thing. I don't know what it was. It was some type of rocket. It shoots up and then it goes any direction. Like once it gets up there, it can go this way, that way, straight up, angle. I was like, this thing has a mind of its own. I swear to you. This one, it just and then stopped and then went this way. I was like, nah, we're good. I was like, this thing has a mind of its own. Like wild, but yeah. But yeah, that's all I did on the weekend. I had to spend the rest of the week just relaxing because that last weekend wore me out with the wrestling weekend, long road trip weekend. But we back here. We get here. We here on a recording on Tuesday, but you'll be listening to it on a Wednesday. It will be dropping Wednesday morning. So yeah, we here. So what I got on tap for today is I want to get into some Dallas Maverick news because over it was this past weekend we had the NBA. It was the last week we had the NBA draft, and we also had NBA free agency. And my Mavericks picked up a couple players. They got Klay Thompson and Najee Marshall. So I want to get into a little bit of that, and I also want to get into travel sports teams and the issues that are I don't know how to put it. Like my kid is not. I don't have kids in the travel sports team, but I coach middle school basketball, and those kids play in AAU, and you know, and just from seeing things and reading things and hearing things from other people, other parents that have kids in travel sports. I want to talk about that. I want to I want to be like, you know what? I have issues with it. I have issues with it. So we're gonna get into that. So the Dallas Mavericks, they were in the NBA Finals this year, and they lost 4 games to one against the Boston Celtics. Uh, they could have got swept, but you know how it is. Usually teams, there's always the thing called the gentleman sweep. But in some of the games, they were right there, and a lot of it was just they had no help offensively. They had nobody else. They didn't have the role players stepping up. Uh, DJ wasn't stepping up. PJ Washington wasn't really. I mean, it was mostly Luca because Kyrie wasn't Kyrie, and but we know what Kyrie can do. But they didn't have the role players, and I was like, after the finals were over, I was like, they need somebody else that can score. I was thinking they need like another ball handler that can create their own shot and get to the rim, or they just need another somebody that could be consistent in shooting threes, right? Because in the finals, it was not consistent at all. It was not. I was like, you know, it was just like, where are these role players? Where were because in the other three series against the Clippers, OKC, and Minnesota, they were hitting the shots. When we got to the finals, it's like nothing, nothing. They didn't show up. So they had the draft. The Mavericks, I don't think they had a draft pick in the first round because they traded that for when they got Kyrie. So we got into free agency because I didn't even know when the draft was starting. I was like, oh, the NBA draft is here. Like they don't do a great job promoting it like the NFL. Like when the NFL draft is. Oh, they make a whole thing of that. But like the NBA, I was like, oh, NBA draft is coming up. Oh, I didn't even know that. And then NBA free agency just started. What was it? Yesterday or the day before? So so the Mavs. So I was hearing the rumors before free agency started that the Mavs were interested in getting Klay Thompson. I was like, okay, oh, Klay Thompson. He's a shooter. Now I know he ain't been the same Klay Thompson he used to be, but he's still Klay Thompson. He can still shoot. I mean, he's bringing the shooting. Is he bringing defense? Probably not. That's not why they're interested in getting him. He can shoot threes, right? He can pop the three, and he's been there before. He's been on a winning championship team. He's got multiple rings. You know, he played with Steph Curry. He knows what it takes to win. He knows in those moments, like I can hit this three in those moments because that's what the Mavs were missing in the finals. Like Derrick Jones Jr. didn't show up really in shooting a three. PJ Washington didn't show up in shooting a three. I mean, he got to the rim a little bit, but we needed those threes. He couldn't hit it. Maxey wasn't hitting because he was still dealing with the shoulder. I don't think he was 100% healthy. And so, like when I heard the rumor, Klay Thompson, I was like, okay, I like this. Let's get it. Let's get it. And so it was. I mean, he was talking to other teams. One of the Lakers. It was the Lakers. I know Lakers were one of the other teams, and then the Mavs. I'm not sure of the other teams that Klay Thompson was talking to, but they got him signed to it was a 3 year. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It was a sign and trade deal that they had to do to get Klay Thompson, but I'm not mad at it at all. What was it? Yeah, where is it at? I know it was a $50 million deal. I think it was 3 years, 50 million for Klay Thompson. So he's gonna help. He's like I said, he's gonna bring points off the bench or however they play him. I don't know if he'll be starting. He might. He might be starting since we lost Derrick Jones Jr. So he might be starting, but just if he can just come in and get like that 15 points, if he hit some threes when they need it, and keep us in the game, and then let Kyrie and Luca do their thing, and he can get some points, and you got a couple of the other bench players get some points here and there, would be good. I mean, I like the signing. I'm not mad at it because I know they needed somebody that can be consistent with the threes because Derrick Jones Jr. he was good, but in the finals I mean he wasn't consistent with his 3-point shots. I mean he was a good defender and and things like that. But like when it came to like shooting the three, he wasn't consistent. I don't think he was that consistent. PJ Washington was a little bit more consistent with the threes, but not in the finals. He just wasn't really hitting them. But in the other three series, he was. So they didn't sign Derrick Jones Jr. back. He went to the Clippers, and then we got Klay Thompson, and then even before that, we got they signed Najee Marshall, who's coming from the Pelicans for what is it, a 3-year, $27 million deal. And I didn't know much about him, but I went up and read on him, and they said he's going to help defensively, which is something we all also need because Derrick Jones Jr. did give you defense and he gave you scoring. So you lose him, okay, you get Klay Thompson, he's going to make up for the scoring. You get Najee Marshall, he's going to help you defensively. And I read up on him defensively, and then I was watching some highlight videos of him. Oh, he's a lockdown defender, which is exactly a type of player they need. The Mavericks, they need help defensively. So you got a shooter in Klay Thompson, and you got a defender in Najee Marshall. So you bring those two together, it's like boom, let's go. Because now you got Luka, you got Kyrie, you got Klay that can score. Uh, I'm assuming and then you got PJ Washington who can also score. And then defensive wise, you got Gafford, you got Lively, now you got Najee Marshall. And Kyrie, if they really focus and play defense, him and Luka can play some solid defense. I'm not saying they're worldly defenders, but they can go out there and play some solid defense. Now, in getting Klay Thompson, they did lose Josh Green, who I did like, but wasn't the best consistent scorer. But he always brought a lot of energy. But he was gone because there was a sign and trade deal to get Klay Thompson. So we lose him, but I feel like we picked up two good solid pieces that come in and help the Mavericks. And I feel like they still got their core guys, and these two are going to be added to the core group of guys. And then hopefully, because you got rid of Tim Hardaway Jr., you got his contract off the books. That's why you were able to go get Klay Thompson and not Najee Marshall. So I feel good about the Mavericks heading in this season. Hopefully Luka comes ready to go. I think he might. I think he's playing right now basketball. I didn't expect him to be playing, for the Olympics this year, for his country's team. He was playing because I was like, oh, he out here playing. I was like, oh, I thought he'd be taking some time off to get healthy. Unless I read that wrong, you know. But I'm just gonna look it up right now. But yeah, I feel real good about the Mavericks going into this season and with the additions they got in the offseason because they did get better. They filled some needs. They got a scorer, they got somebody that can shoot, and then they got somebody that can play defense to add to the core group of guys. So I feel real good about this upcoming season, even though it's a ways away. And then I'll be getting into football mode, and I'll be keeping tabs on basketball because I'll be getting the scores and things like that. But I really won't be getting into basketball until after football season's over, depending on how far the Chiefs go into the season. Hopefully, it's the Super Bowl. But after that, then it's like let's lock in. Let's lock into the Mavericks, even though I don't get a chance to watch them because I live in Kansas City and they're a Dallas team. And so, but when they're on TV, yeah, I'm gonna watch them and things like that. So I really feel good. So I hope they can do some things, and if Luca does Luca things and Kyrie does Kyrie things, and the role players do what they need to do, there's no reason they can't be back where they were this year at the end of this season in the finals. I mean, the ultimate goal is to win a championship, but to get there, but to win, you got to get to the finals. Okay, you know what it takes to get there. Boom. Let's get these pieces in here. Let's training camp. Let's get it. Let's roll through. Got to stay healthy. Hopefully, Luca maybe comes in a little bit better shape this year and things like that. So we'll get it. We'll get it. So I'm trying to see if he's gonna play in the Olympics. I don't know. I saw a picture. I thought Yeah, I don't know if he's playing. I don't think he should play. Hold on. I think he might be playing. I think he's trying to get on a team. All right, I think he's trying to. I think he is playing because I was just reading that he's trying to get into the Olympics this year. Which, I mean, hey, it's once every 4 years. You might as well. You might as well try to go in and get into the Olympics and get a medal. You might as well because that's one thing about the Olympics. You want to go win gold, but at the same time, you want to get there and you just want to get a medal because can nobody ever take that away from you. If you get a medal in the Olympics, whether it's first, second, or third, nobody can take that away from you. Like I'm an Olympic medalist, so I competed against the world. Yeah, I got third place, but I competed against all these different athletes from all these different countries. That's something nobody can ever take away from you. But yeah, I'm excited for the Mavs and what they can do this upcoming season. So stay tuned for the Mavs because we're going to be right back where they were this past season in the finals. Hopefully, hosting up that Larry Larry O'Brien Trophy. So let's get it. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to get back into it. Let's go. Is he fucking playing? So I want to discuss the sport, the youth sports, right? And more specifically, travel competitive sports, which it's not that I have an issue in terms of them playing and traveling and being competitive and whatnot. That's not the issue. Like, and the reason I'm talking about this because I see Instagram reels, the TikToks, right, where and it's funny, but it's also true because you read the comments where people have been making this. So there's that one that goes off. It's like, yeah, so we got a tournament in this country this weekend on 48. It's a 48-hour drive. If we win there, then we're playing another week tournament in this other country, and then in 2 days after that, we come back around halfway across the world and play in a tournament in this country, and then and things like that. I'll be like, is this really how it is? And then I read the comments, and people will be like, yeah, this is how it is. It's like you'll know 2 days notice of where you're going, and it's usually you got to drive somewhere far. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I see the other Instagram reels where it's like having a kid in youth sports and going to their games, and and the people show up, and it's like, oh, that'll be $50 to get in. $50? Say what? I'll be like, this is not real. This is not real. And then the guy, and then the person in the video is like, but I'm just here to watch my kids play. I know, but it's $50 to get in for the whole tournament. I'm like, I don't care about. I just want to watch my kid play. I'm like, this is wild. Like this whole this travel cost and thing is wild. And then I read the comments and people that are in it like that, they be like, yeah, it's like that. It's like you gotta do all this. So I want to discuss this because all these games that these kids are playing in youth sports for these travel and competitions, is it really helping them get better? You know what I'm saying? Like, so hold on, I'll get into that in a minute, but I want to break down the cost. Like, I kind of looked at it, kind of went on the internet and Google and searched, like, what is like the average cost? So it's like you have the cost, right? And I get it. You're playing all these games. Of course, it's going to cost money and whatnot, but you got to think about it. Somebody out here is just making a shit ton of money and taking advantage of all these kids and their parents because these kids want to play in these sports. They want to play on these traveling teams in different sports, or maybe they just want to focus on one. And I get it. It's like you as a parent, you're investing in your child. I get that. My youngest daughter's in the Kansas City Ballet. She takes classes at the ballet. That's just not cheap. It's expensive. My other daughter plays. She plays softball, but she plays for the high school team. You know, and so I get costs of doing something expensive. And then my daughter just did a 3 week program with the Kansas City Ballet, and that was expensive. So things cost money. I'd rather spend it on that for them to do that than it was just sitting around the house doing nothing. I'd rather have my kid out there doing something. So it's not a problem with the costs. It, it it's getting on. It's costing too much. These activities and playing on these traveling teams. It's getting to a point where it's like, yeah, how much y'all just gonna keep upping the price? And they knowing that they're gonna pay it because their kid wants to play. You're gonna tell your kid no? I mean, yeah, you can go play on the rec team, but it ain't gonna be the same competition as you playing on these traveling teams or these, competitive teams. I just think somebody's taking advantage of somebody of all these people, and I mean, maybe somebody else just starts their own league. Maybe the parents get together and just start their own stuff and be like, hey, we'll call these other teams. Hey, we'll do this ourselves, right? Because it's ridiculous how much they gotta listen. They gotta pay to just to be on the team. So I know they have to try out for the team. I'm pretty sure going to the trial costs money. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I may be wrong. It probably does. And then if they make the team, they got to pay the fee, which could be a couple $100 just to be on the team. And then when they go to these tournaments that are like every weekend, they got to pay the tournament fee, the team. So all the players got to chip in and pay their fee to get into the tournament, right? And then the parents have to pay the cost to travel to get their player to that tournament, which is hotel, food, gas, because they're not flying. That's going to be too expensive because they need their car to get around. Otherwise, you fly and then you got to rent a car. So that's why they just take their own car. But then there's that cost. And then the other one that gets me, I didn't even know if it was real or not. I mean, I see the TikToks and the reels about having to pay to get in to these travel sports games, these tournaments. I was like, there's no way they're out here charging these parents to get in to watch their kid play. I swear to you, me and my wife went on a went to Shawnee Park and we were walking and we were coming around by where 3-2 baseball field is in Johnson County on the Kansas side. There's 2 3-2 baseball fields, one in Missouri, one in Kansas. We're the one by Shawnee Mission Park. We were walking and we were just trying to get back around to the park entrance. And I was like, we just cut through here. This is 3-2 baseball field. We just cut through here, right? So we just cut through this little back area where I think like the umpires park. And we were walking and like, oh, they're playing games. I was like, damn, they fucking play early, like 10:30. And then my wife was like, yeah, they probably play early because it gets hot, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, okay, that makes more sense. Playing the games early in the morning when it's not as hot. And we're walking, we're kind of watching the games, and we go out this one exit to walk around, and I see these people under a tent with like the PayPal with the card reader, and I'm looking, I'm like, I told my wife, I was like, I think you got to pay to get in here. I was like, I don't know. And so we walked around. I'm kind of looking at the license plates to see where all these people are from. I mean, you have people from all over. Not can't. You have people from Florida. You have people from like Connecticut. Illinois. You have people from all over. I was like, damn, these people be traveling. I'll be like, damn. Now some of them could have been rent a car, so that means that the person flew in and then rented a car. But I was just like looking at different license plates, and we come by another entrance, and I see the sign, $40 for the whole weekend. I'm like, you fucking with me? I told my wife, I was looking at it. It's $40 to get in. Oh hell no, hell no. When we were walking around, I seen people. It was the baseball field in the fence. I seen people sitting on this side of the fence in the outfield, Had the lawn chair, sitting watching the game. I was like, I think they're sitting out here because they didn't want to pay to get in. And she's like, no. I was like, we walk past, we see the other sign. I see that sign. I'm like, no, it costs $40 to get in. I'm like, whoo! I'd be right out there in center field watching. Center, right or left field watching. I ain't, no. And imagine this. These tournaments are every weekend. Every weekend. If they win, they gotta go do another tournament. And then they gotta go do another one, right? You gotta pay $40 to get in to watch my kid play? After I've already paid for them to be on the team. I paid my child's portion for the tournament fee. I paid for travel. Now they telling me when I get there, I gotta use it. I gotta have like 40, 50, maybe even more just to get in and watch my kid play. What is going on here? Somebody is making money and it's ridiculous. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. I'd be sitting right out in the outfield. I mean, especially, and like, you could do that in baseball, and you could probably do it in like other outdoor sports, but like, when it comes to basketball, like, the only way you gonna watch it is you go inside. Like baseball, I'm gonna go sit in the outfield and watch. I'll be good there. I'm not paying to get in. Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. Parents shouldn't have, like, immediate family members, like parents, brothers, sisters, shouldn't have to pay to get in. I don't believe anybody should have to pay to get in to watch these tournaments like that. I mean, when you already have the tournament fee, what the fuck else you need? You need the gate fee. Gee, well, soon they're gonna be at. We're gonna get money for parking. I wouldn't be doubted if some of these tournaments, some of these venues, they, because the person hosting the tournament, they're charging at the gate. I wouldn't be surprised if they start charging for parking. It's outrageous. I don't know if there's any regulations for it, but it's outrageous. It's outrageous. But that's where we're in, and I just, I mean, parents are probably spending thousands of dollars a year in their kids' travel competitive team that they play on, and they could be in multiple sports, or they could just be in the one. It's still $1,000 a year. It is a lot, and I get, like I said, it's investing in your kid. I get that, but at what point does this just get out of hand? And you're like, hey, this is getting out of hand. Something needs to be done. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And then that's my first problem. Is just I actually have the problem with you, the parent, having to pay to get in to watch your kid play. That's the issue I have. You know that's the issue. And probably the other issues that they have to pay to be on the team. That's the that's the issue I have. Like, oh, you have to pay to be on the team if you make it. Well, pay why? Okay, the tournament fee I get. You got to travel. That literally should be the only cost associated with it. Like, hey, we're gonna be in this tournament. Everybody chip in so we can get in. Okay, cool. Right? Travel. You got to travel. You got to get there. Paying to be on the team, and then I have to pay to get in to watch my kid play. I don't know which one's more obnoxious, obnoxious and annoying. I think I have to pay to get in to watch my kid play at all these tournaments after I've paid to be on the team, paid the tournament fee, paid to travel. Now you telling me I gotta give one. I'm telling you, next is parking. Somebody's gonna be like, we can charge for parking. Woo! Then you're gonna have Uber drop off. Or you just gonna drop your kid off and be like, they're gonna park down the street and then walk in and sit in the outfield, on the other side of the fence. That's exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be sitting in that motherfucking outfield. It's ridiculous. So that's like the first problem I have. It's just the cost in general. It's ridiculous. And not on top of that, you got to buy your kid the equipment they need. That shit's not cheap. Somebody out here, somebody's just taking advantage of everybody because these kids want to play. Like, shit doesn't need to be this expensive. It really doesn't. It really don't. Shit. If I can make sports equipment, I'd make it affordable. I'm pretty sure they can make it affordable if they really want it, but they don't want to because they know the people are gonna buy. They're gonna buy it. These companies don't care about us. No, let's be real, they don't care. But that's the first problem I have is this cost, the general cost associated playing on these travel sports teams in competitive leagues, right? Okay. Here's where the second issue I have is with these competitive sports leagues and these travel teams, right? These travel teams is I don't think it's helping the athlete, the student get better, the youth athlete get better. Because if they're playing all these games, when do they have time to practice? Right? And people will say, oh, they play a whole bunch of games and they're getting lots of experience. Okay, that's great. They're playing all these games, every weekend. They're playing like 6, 7 games, whatever. When do they have time to practice? When do they have time to get better? When do they have time to work on the things they need to work on to get better? Because when you go into a game, you play a game, right? You go, whether you win or lose, you find something that, oh, we need to work on this. If you're playing every 6, 7 games in a weekend, and then you got to travel and get ready and come back and travel again to another tournament, when the fuck do you have time to practice? When do you have time to work on those things you need to work on? Because you don't. That's the issue. That's the issue. They maybe think, oh, we playing all these games. That's great. That don't mean shit. I'm sorry. Playing 6, 7 games in a weekend is not going to get you better. It's just playing the game. And you just go out there and doing what you do, and whether it's basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, softball. I don't even know whatever the case may be, whatever sport, whatever competitive travel team you're on, you can't work on those things in the game because you're trying to win the game. You need practice, and it don't practice. Like I coach middle school basketball, right? I'm an assistant in middle school basketball, and we all the basketball players that make the team, they play AAU, right? AAU, they all year round. But then when they come and play for the team, they can't play in any of the AAU games or things like that, right? But after that, they're playing basketball. They're playing in games like every other day. It feels like, they're in tournaments on the weekends, and I'm like, when the fuck did they practice? I'm like, when do they have time to work on these fundamentals? Because I tell you, I don't know how many easy layup I have never seen a team. And then where I coach, we have 3 teams. We have we just call it the A team, the B team, and the C team. However, I don't know, maybe A1, A2, A3. We just call it, the A, B, C team, right? You have the A team, which is the main team that can play for the championship, and then there's the B team and the C team, that play their games, but they don't play for a championship. Out of those 3 teams, right? I don't know how many missed layups they had. I'm not talking about difficult layups. I'm talking about easy layups. I'm like, how do y'all miss these easy layups? Like, huh? I know our head coach was so frustrated with it. I was like, coach was about to lose his mind. Out of everything, it was these easy missed layups. I remember one game we missed at least 20 points in layups that could have just easily helped us win the game by 20 points instead of making it a close game. And it was through that for all the teams at the school I coach at. It was just how do we miss these layups? And then the coach was talking, we were talking, and they were like, well, it's all these, they don't work on fundamentals. When they're playing all year round in these AAU games, they don't practice. They just go out there and freestyle, and all they care about is shooting. They don't know how to play the game of basketball. Yeah, you go out there and do all that one-on-one shit. That shit ain't gonna get you to high school. make you on the high school team. That shit ain't gonna get you to college. That shit ain't gonna get you to the league. You can do all this fancy stuff. They don't give a fuck about that. You can't even hit a goddamn. You can't hit a layup. An easy layup. And we worked on that in practice. Oh, we made a point. Layups, jump stops. And we're like, you do a jump stop, it's gonna get the person going up in the air, and then you just jump out, put the ball in. There's a square. There's the square, right? Use it, tell this window. Like, yeah, and you have to have multiple different finishes, right? But it was like simple layups. And then these players, they want to do all this fancy stuff. We're sitting here trying to play basketball. Basketball is a team game. It is. Like, yeah, you could have one superstar, but at the end of the day, you still need the other four people on the court. You need them role players to come off the bench and do something. Like, you need that. Everybody's got a different skill set. You need to work as a team. You need, and it's just not about just this fancy stuff. I guess they do in AAU because, like, me and the coaches were talking about it. It's like they do all this stuff, and their coaches at AAU tell them, "Hey, go out there and be this, do this, you can do that," and like that's not fundamentally sound advice. That's not fundamentals of basketball. That's not going to help you get to the next level. That's not going to take your game to the next level. Like, you got to put in the work. You got to be able to do the basics first. The basics is making a layup, playing team ball, passing the ball, cutting to the basket, playing defense, rebounding, boxing. That was another one. Rebounding. I don't know how many times the team got an offensive rebound. Yeah, I was like, you got to box out. Rebounding is not even a skill. It's just a want. You got to want to rebound. Get a body, go up to the ball, let's go. But it was just like, it was simple, fundamental stuff that's just like, do they not practice this when they're AAU? And then you realize it's like they play all these games and they want to do all this cool stuff instead of just doing the basic fundamentals, but they don't ever practice because they're too busy playing in 6-7 games in a weekend. I'm like, you can't play that much in a weekend. Your body, first of all these games is nonsense. You need practice. You need time for your body to recover. Can you imagine? This is why I like football. They only need to play once a week, and then they have time to recover. They get ready. They practice. They go to the next game. You couldn't play 3-4 games of football in a weekend. You know, maybe probably flag football, but I'm talking about football, tackle football. That's why I like football, right? They have to go in and practice, right? It was 17 games now in the NFL. They practice, they work on things they need to work on to get better, and then they go play the game. And then something else will arise that we still need to work on this to continue to work on this, or something new they need to work on, they'll go work on it, right? So it's like one of those things. Like, you play all these games, that's great, but when do you have time to let your body recover? And then when do you have time to practice and work on things that you need to work on to get better, so you can win the game? That's the issue I have with these. That's the other issue I have with these competitive sports leagues and these travel sports teams, is that they play too many games, but there's no practice. And I've heard other coaches I've come across where coaches be talking about, like, it's all this ruining it, where they play all these games, but there's no practice. And then they get to the next level and it's like they wonder why they don't make the team, because you can't do the fundamental things right. You're not playing basketball. You out here playing like street ball. You out here just doing 1-on-1. You're playing 1-on-1 in a game that's 5-on-5. Because your AAU coach tells you can do all this fancy stuff, but you can't hit a simple layup. I swear to you, we had players that could do the fanciest and the hardest shot layups, but when it came to like a simple dribble, just a layup in practice, like, how you miss? It's just a simple layup, even if it was a game or practice, they miss it. But when they do a difficult spin, hook shot, whatever, layup, revert, it'd go in, but like they can hit that, but they can't hit a simple layup. That's the issue. They can do all this fancy stuff, but they can't do the simple stuff. The simple stuff is going to get you. The fundamentals, they can't do the fundamental things, but they can do all this fancy stuff. Fancy stuff is not going to get you anywhere. It's really not. It is the fundamentals that are going to get you somewhere to that next level. Just because you play all these games don't mean nothing. You play the games, yeah, you find out, oh, we need to work on this, but you don't have time to work on it because you're right back in another tournament the following week. Because now you got to let your body recover, and then you got to travel back home, then back to another tournament. When do you have time to let your body recover? And when do you have time to practice? Because the only way you're going to get better is practicing. And then taking what you did, getting better, and then going and doing it in the game. Each time you play a game, you're going to find out something that you need to work on. You're going to find some, like, I need to do that better. So you're going to go and practice and you're going to work on it. But with all these travel sports teams and in these competitive leagues, this is like, when do they have time to practice? Do they get one practice? I don't know. I really don't. If you know, leave it in the comment. Do these competitive sports leagues, do these travel teams, do they even get time to practice at all during like their session or whatever, however long their season is? If they're playing all these games, they got to travel to all these games, and they got to travel back, and then they got to travel to another state to play in another tournament. When do they have time to practice? That's what I want to know, and I think that's the issue. If we like, it's okay. Like, hey, let's play 2 games in the weekend. Boom. Let's play like 1 or 2 games. Nobody needs to play multiple games in a day. Nobody needs to play like 6, 7 games in a weekend. That's obnoxious. It makes no sense. You play 2 games. You play 2 games. 3, depending on what the sport is. Depending on what it is. Like basketball, that takes a lot of energy. You play 4 or 5 games in a weekend. You're tired. You have no legs. I've seen it. Coaching middle school basketball. After our players get done with the game, they tired. You imagine doing that multiple times? Makes no sense. No, it just needs to change. The format it needs to change to where, okay, you want to have a tournament? Cool. Let's make it a tournament like every other week. Let's not make it every weekend. Let's get them time to work on things. Let's get them time to practice, and then they can go scrimmage a team if they want to get some in-game reps. Or let's shorten the tournament down to like a couple games, or 1 day, or some. I just like the simple format. Let's fine. You want to have these tournaments? Cool. Well, we're going to do it 1 tournament every 2 weeks. That means it gives them time to practice. They do the tournament. Cool. They're going to do another tournament. They know what they need to work on. So they got a whole, basically 2 weeks to work on the things they need to work on. And they can also go scrimmage. You can go scrimmage on another team. Hey, let's get together. Let's call this other team that's going to be in this tournament. Hey, let's play them in a scrimmage. You can always do that. You can always get game simulation by scrimmaging. But you still need to practice. You need to practice because you got things to work on. That's all I'm saying. That's where I would just like to see a change. Stop charging parents to get in to watch their kids play. It's fucking ridiculous. And add more practices and less games. That's all I got on that. That's all I got. But that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Share it out all to the world. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're at like 130 right now, but we're gonna get there. Leave a comment on who you think is the team to beat in the NBA this upcoming season. I know we're a ways. It's October. October ain't that far away, but comment who you think is gonna win. Who you think the team to beat in the NBA this year is this upcoming season. Also comment what your thoughts are on these travel teams and competitive leagues, and how you think it can be fixed, because it needs to be fixed. It needs to be changed. And we got the Olympics coming up this month. I think it was July 27th, 26th, something like that. I've been watching some of the qualifying Gymnastics, track and field. I mean, shit. When I'm watching these people run in track and field, these motherfuckers are fast, men and women. I was watching the qualifiers for the women 100-meter hurdles, and I was watching, but then they show the replay and they show that Roman cam that follows them, and it's close up. I'm like, I wish I could move that fast. When I run, it ain't that fast no more. Not like I was like all worldly track speed fast, but I could hold my own. I mean, I ran a 4.40. I wasn't blazing, but I was a running back. Running backs don't need to be that fast, right? I played wide receiver in college. I still got I was a slot receiver. I mean, matter of fact, in college, when I played 2 years of Highline, I played 1 year at running back. The sophomore year, I played wide receiver, but I was playing inside and out. So I could hold my own. But I'm watching them, these hurdles are moving. I'm just like, God, Lord have mercy. I wish I could run that fast. I mean, I run now. I run now. I could do like a 12-minute mile. It ain't blazing. I'm trying to get it to 8. The other day I did like about 11, about 11-minute mile. So I'm trying to work your way down. But yeah, that's. I mean, it's gonna be. I can't wait for the Olympics to start. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Simone Biles. I think everybody wants to see Simone Biles because what happened 4 years ago where she had to take herself out of the competition. But she's she's not human. I don't. She's got to be not human, right? You know what I'm saying? But hopefully they can bring home the gold. And usually we do pretty well in the Olympics as this, as a country in general. We're having the most medals. But I'm ready. I'm ready to watch it. I'm gonna be watching it. I always like to watch track and field, gymnastics, swimming. I'm with basketball. I'm so happy that skateboarding is in. I know it's been in for a few years now, for a few Olympics now. It should have been in a long time ago. I'm so happy skateboarding is in the Olympics. I used to skateboard back in the day, so having that in the Olympics. When I found out they were going to be in the Olympics skateboarding, I was like, hell yeah, fuck yeah. I skateboarded for a while growing up, so I love it. But yeah, but that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm out. Peace.